Hi, this is Miss Parker, and I am showing you a brain dump for the English 1 STAAR EOC exam. And we are now going to brain dump a few strategies for reading that we want to remember as we are taking the test. Now, I'm giving you some strategies that I've focused on this year and that I've taught this year, but if you've got other strategies, you want to brain dump those as well. So first thing that we're going to look at with reading is mainly our reminders of how we summarize text to make sure that we understand all of the information in that text. The first one that we are going to do is a summary for mainly for our narrative text or stories. These could be fiction or nonfiction. So this is a narrative, stories, okay? And that is going to be my somebody wanted, but so then, and finally strategy. Somebody wanted, okay, and this is going to be a problem that they need to solve or a goal, okay? But there is a conflict, so they try to solve the conflict, okay? This is where conflict is introduced, okay? Then something else is going to happen. The problem will either be solved or it won't. When we get to the conclusion of the story, we end up at finally. Now, this just helps us remember how to go through the story, and we can recognize that we have main character or characters. They've got a problem to solve or a goal to complete. There are going to be conflicts. They try some solutions until they get to the final resolution. So that is what we're going to use for narrative text, and then we've been focusing on that a lot lately with our past reading. Okay. Now, the next one that I'm going to give you is a strategy for informational texts. Okay. Okay. Informational is nonfiction. Okay. And that strategy is 5 W's and H, or sometimes we call these the reporter's questions. Okay. It's been a little while since we visited these, but our 5 W's and an H are who, what, when, where, why, and finally my H is how. Okay, so to start this off, who is my subject, and I'm going to be asking who did what, or who wanted what. Okay, when did they do it, where did they do it, why did they do it, and how did they do it? So if we use that strategy for informational text, we should be able to check ourselves and make sure that we understand what we are reading. The last strategy I'm going to give you is one that we have not reviewed in a while, but it is one for poetry. Poetry may or may not show up on your exam, but it can give people trouble when it does show up. So with poetry, we're going to use the SIFTS strategy, but I'm going to add to it. So I am doing SIFT, and this time I'm going to add 2 T's. Okay, and there's my S. You could do a T squared, but I'm going to add 2 T's. And my SIFT strategy is to look for, as you read the poem, summarize it. you are going to summarize each stanza, or if the poem is a long poem, in 2 or 3 sentences. Summarize the poem. What is the poem literally saying? Okay. What is each stanza literally saying? Then I'm going to go in and I am going to look for imagery. I'm going to look for figurative language. And I'm going to abbreviate that because 2 long words. Okay. Imagery, figurative language, and I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 T's in. I'm going to come back to those in just a minute. And I'm also going to look for, I don't know why I'm putting a period there, symbols. Okay. So I'm going to be looking for imagery, figurative language, and symbols, and I'm going to be thinking about what do they literally mean. I'm going to give myself some notes there. Now, my T's are 1 for tone. What is the tone or the author's attitude in the poem toward the subject? And what themes do we see present? Okay, so what truths or messages about life do we see present? If we remember these strategies, then that will help us out on the reading sections of the test.